Corrections Officer Matt Ballard is a 12-year veteran at Stockton Correctional Facility.
These are their personally owned televisions, so all of that information is recorded on their property, and so we just have to make sure that that gets put down on the shakedown sheet.
Checking for contraband within a resident's property is called a shakedown, a common occurrence that is invasive and thorough for security and safety of all involved. And it can be a messy process, but not with Ballard.
I try to be respectful with people's property. So guys will say, thank you. I routinely get thank yous, things don't get broken. Other COs might throw their bedding and stuff all around. I try to put things back the way I found them if I can.
Ballard says he shuns the public's perception of prisons and instead tries to give residents the benefit of the doubt.
I feel like most of the people that come into prison have made mistakes, and they're mistakes that anybody can make, and that they're good people who are trying to get out. I think there are definitely bad people in prison, but for the most part, I think there are good people here. And especially in a camp like Stockton, where people have worked hard to get where they are, to earn a little money, and to be able to get out and start over with a better foot on the ground.
And helping to put a resident's best foot forward comes when we treat others with dignity and communicate with respect.
I was watching a video and somebody was saying, imagine you get pulled over by like a patrol officer. How do you expect them to treat you? Like, do you want them to treat you like poop, or do you want them to treat you with like compassion and empathy and stuff? And so every single interaction with these residents, I try to use that as a time to, okay, this is my moment. I'm gonna tell them who I am, and so that way if they see me in the future and they have an issue, they could tell me, and that trust and the door is open.
Trust is also built when corrections officers project a positive outlook.
If they see me striving and improving and coming in here with laughter and feeling it's a sense of making them feel they're here, they're wanted, and they can do better. If you have a negative report with them, they're gonna feel, you just like the other ones. I know everybody heard that before. You the same, you just like the other ones. No, you want them to see you as somebody who they can follow behind and guidance to the that I can do this, I can make it. They're not just residents, inmates, they're individuals. And I feel that I like to search through the character of each individual that I meet and talk with. I look at their character. I'm not looking for the negative of what they did and what they did, because I'm not the judge. I'm here to make sure they are safe and secure and move in better grounds.
Because his children live on the East Coast, Amilcar Brenz de Leon often volunteers to work double shifts at the Kansas Juvenile Correctional Complex. He's learned that it helps to be patient and a little passive when working with young adults.
We have to have that common sense visual when we see when we can act, what we can do. Sometimes I leave them to, they are releasing that. If I go when somebody's here and I try to hear, I'm gonna have a situation. So I just, when they explode, then when they are I go and talk.
You check every door along here, walk the fence line back.
Corrections Officer James Morris moved to Stockton 3 years ago to take care of his aging parents and decided corrections would be a good job.
I never thought I was a people person. I was always the one in the background. Even when I ran my business up in Alaska, I was the one in the background. I was not at the front of the business. I took care of everything, but I did not like being up front. And here, you're one-on-one. I mean, you have plenty of staff to support you. You've got your co-workers, but you're still one-on-one. How you treat people, depends on what response you're going to get. And one thing that I've learned is just because somebody is venting doesn't mean they're coming after you. Sometimes you need to know the difference between somebody that's just venting and somebody being overly aggressive. And Norton, there's more of the aggressive, but not that much. here, there's even less. Most of the guys here work to get here, so.
Oh, let's see. Morris, you're gonna be wrecked today.
Corrections Officer Josh Blasey has worked in most KDOC facilities during his 11-year career. He says no matter where you work, it helps to see the vision of the culture that is taking place throughout the agency.
I believe that a lot of things that we're doing are very good for the population. It allows them to more seamlessly transition into the public where they're not going to have any restrictions or anything like that. And they need to be able to go out into the public when they get out and have that ability to maintain themselves when they do get out.
Hello, Horosco. How are you?
Shanna Halloran has been with KJCC for 20 years. Today, she works more of a support role as she checks people in and out of a service gate. Halloran says she still loves her job and the people who are on the front lines making a difference.
I feel like we have the best people anywhere around us. Like, there are people that I've met here that will carry with me for the rest of my life. I love the environment. I love the working environment. There's nowhere else you're going to find people like this to work with. So for me, that's a big bonus, a huge bonus. Like I said, it's just a different story for me because I don't really work as much with the residents anymore. I do some Medline every now and then. I run down to an 18 with that every now and then. But you know, they're out there changing people's lives every day on those units, affecting kids, affecting families. So I think that's probably the biggest benefit of working here.
Other support staff that are vital to running a facility include maintenance workers like Brian Sievert, aka Mr. Fix-It. Here, he's fixing the conveyor belt on the main entrance metal detector at the El Dorado Correctional Facility. If any electronics are broken, he's there to fix it.
We also have a man-down system, which is people that don't have the radios. They use the man-down system, and we have sensors all around the buildings that where it can put you about within 20 meters of where they're at on the screen and compound. And anytime that goes down, that's one of the main things that we go work on and stuff, try to find what's down on it and get it fixed, get it back up.
And what's been the hardest thing for Brian to fix?
Antennas on top of the water tower where I have to climb 175 feet straight up and go out on the roof of the water tower and work on antennas.
And they have a harness for you and everything?
Oh yes, yes sir. We have a climbing harness, and when you're up on top too, you can clip onto the rail and stuff so that you're there. But it's the climbing stuff, I mean, I'm not knocking it because I kind of like it, but it's still a pretty good climb to climb clear to the top of it and then go out on the roof and work on it.
Electronics is one thing, but when you have plumbing issues in a facility with up to 1,900 beds, that could be a major issue. Enter Billy Shoup, one of 2 maintenance plumbers at El Dorado. How often do you get called for, hey man, we got something backed up?
Oh, I get called quite a bit. Yeah.
They probably got you on speed dial.
A lot of them actually do sometimes, it seems like.
Do you feel like some days that, you know, the work that you do is a thankless job?
It depends on where you go, truthfully, because like in the segregation cell houses, I have to shut down 4 cells to work on a sink, and the other 3 could get really mad at you, you know, so, but it has its up and downs, like I said, and yeah.
And who sees the most ups and downs at a facility? No doubt the warden and the warden's administrative specialist, like Janie Powell.
Well, yeah, air mark.
Janie has worked 27 years in corrections. She started in food service, and for the past 10 years, she's worked as the administrative specialist to the warden. Tommy Williams has been warden at El Dorado for 3 years.
He is my 5th warden. Yeah, I've been at this desk through 5 of them.
And Janie's top priority on the job?
It's making appointments for them, make sure they, they make their appointments.
Administration, can I help you?
The most difficult part of Janie's job can be answering calls from family members of residents. On average, 30 to 50 calls a day.
A lot of them don't understand how the place is ran, and so they want things done their way. And it's just, they just don't understand how things are ran, and so and they're hurting, and you just you have to sympathize with them.
Sometimes it takes grit to work in corrections, which is why the job isn't for everyone. But those that can handle it and overcome the negatives, they're in it for life. Corrections Officer Sandra Hutton, or Sam as she refers to herself, started in corrections in 1987.
I retired in 2015, and I came back in 19. I tried to go find my purpose, and I couldn't find it. This is my purpose. This is where I belong. What I do.
And why is that? What makes you say that?
Because I know that I make a difference here, and I'm not gonna let anybody take that from me. A lot of people have asked me why I haven't promoted up, and I think this is where I need to be, because once you promote up, you have less contact with the population, and this is where I need to be, where I can have contact with them.
To all of our unsung heroes at KDOC, we say thank you for your work, dedication, and commitment to changing lives for the better inside our facilities and beyond.